Good? Good. All right. Welcome back. This has been an unusual year, to say the least. And no doubt a challenging year for the Honeywell Foundation. I couldn't be more impressed by the Honeywell Foundation. And I thought, could we just give it up for those people one time? I'd like to welcome some elected officials. We have State Senator Andy Zay in the House, and U.S. Congresswoman Jackie Walorski, represented today by Jordan Frazier. Thank you, Jordan. Mayor Scott A. Long, Commissioner Hoppert. I notice we have our city attorney in Wabash, Doug, here. I'm only pointing him out, not because he's not distinguished, but his bow tie matches his mask intentionally. Amazing, amazing. Bill Kanye's here. I'm only recognizing him because I don't know what's on his mask officially. He's giving me an O-face. Not sure I appreciate it. We have our Wabash County Fair Queen here, Katie Jones. She'll be participating, helping us, moving us along. I'd also like to thank our sponsors for the evening. Platinum sponsors, City of Wabash, Huntington University here in numbers. Where are they? There you are. Thank you very much. Gold sponsors, MPS Egg Farms. Silver sponsors, Bippus State Bank, the Bowen Center, Crossroads Bank, First Merchants Bank, Ford Meter Box Company, G6 Communications, Intrasect Technologies, NIPSCO, Northwestern Mutual, the Paper of Wabash County, Paperworks Industries, Town of North Manchester, Visit Wabash County, White's Residential and Family Services. Thank you. Social Hour sponsors, the Honeywell Foundation, Mainview Inn. Bronze sponsors, State Senator Andy Zay, Beacon Credit Union, Benson & Sons, Community Foundation of Wabash County, the Hagerman Group, Hoosier Jiffy Print, Jones Contracting, Kirtland Automotive Machine Repair. Steve is taking classes tonight. Steve, still got to learn. Lundquist Appraisals and Real Estate, Michael Barnett. Thank you, Michael. OG Intertech, Owens Corning Thermofiber, Wabash Carnegie Public Library, Wabash Hardware and Rental. Thank you, Brian. I'd like to introduce Grow Wabash County Board Chair Patty Grant. Patty.
Thank you, Parker, and good evening. A Community Foundation colleague of mine shared an annual family tradition, which I think is especially appropriate for this occasion. At the start of each new year, she gathered her family and asked them to reflect on the past year through 4 points. Reflect on what we have accomplished, name and express gratitude for the blessings of the year, share relief and gladness for what's over and done. And lastly, they named the hopes and aspirations for the years to come. It's been my pleasure to serve as board chair for Grow Wabash County in what can be considered an odd and unusual year for an economic development organization. Rest assured, we, Wabash County, can be very proud of Grow Wabash County's accomplishments. So I start with number one. What has Grow Wabash County accomplished in 2020? Keith is going to cover in detail what he and his amazing, talented staff have led, worked, celebrated, and suffered. But for now, let me note just 3 of GWC's impressive accomplishments. With appreciation to Parker Beecham, Grow Wabash County successfully closed Growth Starts Here, a $1 million capital campaign to support big picture efforts around workforce development, entrepreneurship, business development, livability, and investor services. Second, but no less important, Grow Wabash County's significant pivot due to COVID-19, in which they address the needs of community by providing current information and news, as well as administered to the business community over $500,000 in combined rapid response low interest loans and OKRA business recovery grants. And lastly, we can be especially proud of Grow Wabash County's partnership with the Community Foundation of Wabash County and the collaborative and significant efforts taken to shine a cold, harsh, but bright light on our county's declining population and all of its ensuing damages. Through Keith's leadership, the county collectively embarks on an unprecedented countywide effort called Imagine 185 to create a comprehensive plan to address growth and prosperity for all of Wabash County. Point 2, for what are we grateful? We express thanks for the trust and confidence of our membership and to Wabash County citizens who contributed so generously and quickly to the $1 million Growth Starts Here capital campaign. And we're thankful for the collaborative nature and willingness of our community partners and our community's leadership who form the Imagine 185 Steering Committee. Bob Ferguson, Rick Morris, Christy Bones, Scott Siders, Jeff Dawes, Mayor Long, Jim Reynolds, Kyle Bowman, Diana Heath, John Krinn, Adam Penrod, Laura Rager, Pat Lynn, Barry Epley, Jason Callahan, and Board President of the Community Foundation, Brian Howenstein. These individuals, along with over 400 citizens, responded to the threat of population decline by participating in surveys, conversations called On the Table, and our population studies. We express profound thanks for a committed citizenry, which makes our success possible. Number 3, for what do we express relief and gladness that it's over? Well, almost, but do I need to say more? We look forward to 2021 and the eventual end of the threat of the coronavirus. Significant sacrifices have been made. Frontline health workers are constantly at risk. Our teachers and other essential professionals are encumbered by masks and restrictions. Our superintendents and school administrators reorganize critical school activities on a daily basis to maintain learning. Families struggle to stay connected, and many experience illness and personal loss, not to mention the disappointments of weddings postponed, family gatherings canceled, and initiatives and innovations thwarted. We all long for the relief of fear and rules, and we seek the freedom to commune again closely with colleagues, teachers, students, family, and friends. So we will be glad to put behind us the coronavirus. Number 4, but will we return to the old normal? What is our hope and aspiration for the years to come? The old normal? We think not. We hope not. We hope the new normal for 2021 is growth, is greater prosperity for all of Wabash County. Brian Casey was the former president of DePaul University and currently is the president of Colgate University in upstate New York. He called upon the student body to return to campus in August, and in order to follow state requirements, he asked them to quarantine in their dorm rooms for 2 weeks. Casey sequestered himself, saying with a computer, books, lots of snacks, his mother sent him cookies, and he stayed in a dorm room right along with the students. Meals and textbooks and packages are delivered to students on a daily basis. Outdoor visits and exercise were closely scheduled. In addressing the students, Casey told them, "This will not be easy, it will be hard. But we make sacrifices together so that we can be together." He added, "There are rare moments in one's life to be able to immediately and directly create a common good, and it's something remarkable because it is the efforts of many together, not one." Wabash County has never attempted to coalesce our towns, cities, and county in a comprehensive countywide plan. This will be hard. This will not be easy. Before each of us is an opportunity to create something remarkable, and we do this together so that we can thrive together. What are our hopes and aspirations for the coming year? Using the lessons of COVID-19, that we unite in a common purpose behind a public good through individual sacrifices and compromises, like we did with COVID-19, that we work together to accrue growth and benefits for more prosperity for all of Wabash County. On behalf of Grow Wabash County, it's our hope that you will all attend the community conversations coming up in November. We want all voices to help build a plan. You can help ensure that our future is not left to chance. Let's make our new normal growth. I'd like to introduce those who join me as members of the Grow Wabash County Board, and please stand. Marilyn Custer Mitchell is Vice Chair from Parkview Hospital. Gary Larson is our Treasurer from Ford Meter Box. Emily Boardman is Secretary from Crossroads Bank. Parker Beecham from InGuard. Jason Callahan, Superintendent of Wabash City Schools. Keith Gillenwater, Lisa Gilman of Redemption Development. Brian Hoppert, Wabash County Commissioner. Bob Kraus, President and CEO of Midwest Poultry Services Egg Farms. Mayor Scott Long, the City of Wabash. Doug Lehman from Doug Lehman Attorney. Todd Minnick from the Honeywell Foundation, Adam Penrod from the Town of North Manchester, and Patrick Sullivan from Beacon Credit Union. And now for the business meeting. I would like first to seek a motion to ratify the actions of the Grow Wabash County Board of Directors from the past year. All those in favor signify, please, by saying aye. All those opposed? Motion passed. Secondly, I would like to present the slate of nominees as selected by the Governance Committee, which serves as the nominating committee for both the Wabash County Business Alliance, Inc., doing business as Grow Wabash County, and the Wabash County Business Alliance Foundation, Inc., doing business as the Grow Wabash County Foundation. And the nominees are Gary Larson of Ford Meter Box for a second term, Emily Boardman of Crossroads Bank for a second term, and Marilyn Custer Mitchell of Parkview Hospital also for a second term. I seek a motion to close the nominations. Is there a second? Thank you. All of those we will vote on to close the nominations. All those in favor signify please by saying aye. All those opposed? The motion passes. I seek a motion to approve the slate of directors. Is there a second? Thank you. All those in favor of electing the slate as put forward by the Governance Committee signify by saying aye. All those opposed? No. The motion passes. At this time, it is my pleasure and honor to introduce our leader and chief president and CEO of Grow Wabash County, Keith Gillenwater. Thank you.
You should all be worried that I have a long speech prepared if I brought my own bottle of water. Oh man, look at this turnout. 246 registrations, 35 sponsors. Given everything that Wabash County has been through this year, weathering a worldwide pandemic, forced business shutdowns, school transitions, an over-the-top election season that we're in right now, and don't forget the murder hornets. They're invading us as we speak. And everything else 2020 continues to throw at us. You, our investors, volunteers, board members, and supporters still show up tonight to celebrate our community and our 2020 Business of the Year, Volunteer of the Year, and Distinguished Citizen. All of you here tonight are the truest embodiment of the word community, and I am sincerely humbled by your presence here tonight. Please give yourselves a round of applause. I'm also blessed to lead a wonderful team that is truly dedicated to Wabash County. I could not ask for a better group to work with, and they amaze me every single day at what they accomplish on behalf of our community. Tennille Zartman, Vice President, Chelsea Bullis, Project Manager, Marketing and Events, Sarah Delgadillo, Manager, International Business Development, and Ava Barefoot, Administrative Assistant. A special thank you to my wife and all of our team's spouses or significant others, Carrie, Silas, Evan, Paulo, and Drew, as well as to all of our families. I know that our work takes away time from your personal life, as well as all of our staff are dedicated to working towards our mission. And I also recognize that a lot of our work doesn't occur between 8 and 5. A sincere thank you for all of your support. Team Grow Wabash County, please stand and be recognized. And finally, a thank you to our volunteer board and committees. Without them, we would not be where we are today. So I'm so very proud of our organization and our accomplishments in the last few years, since all of you entrusted our board, our staff, and me personally with the mission to grow a prosperous Wabash County. And it's that mission to grow Wabash County that drives us every single day. So 2020, Lord, what a year, right? I'm sure if I ask all of you to describe 2020 in Wabash County, I would get a wide range of answers, many of which I would certainly not be allowed to repeat in front of a polite crowd in such a beautiful theater. But I think just as many of you would hit upon a theme of resiliency in our community. Resiliency can be defined as the ability to recover or adjust to change. And each of you here and the businesses and organizations you represent are the very definition of resiliency. Grow Wabash County and our community are resilient. I really like a quote that's attributed to former U.S. Supreme Court Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes, referring to success when he said that the greatest thing in the world is not so much where we stand as in what direction we are moving. As I prepared my comments for this evening, I kept coming back to these ideas, resiliency and where we're going. I've reported at this event now for several years about our accomplishments. As Patty mentioned some of them earlier, and I'm going to do that again in just a few minutes. After all, it's the Grow Wabash County Annual Dinner. But as I talk about what we've been up to for the last 12 months, I want you to view them in this context. We are a resilient community, and we are moving in the direction that we need to. The work of the Grow Wabash County is centered around 5 pillars of work: livability, workforce development, business development, entrepreneurship, and investor services. I'd like to highlight a couple of our accomplishments in each pillar since we spoke to you last year. Under our livability pillar, Patty had talked a lot about our Imagine 185 comprehensive strategic planning initiative that's underway. This effort's centered around addressing the single largest threat to Wabash County, that is population loss and all the negatives that come along with it. This effort builds upon our population loss study we undertook last year with the Community Foundation of Wabash County. And over the next year, this work will produce the roadmap for our community as we confront the biggest issues we're facing. Also under our livability, as many of you know, the availability of quality housing at all levels is critical to the long-term growth of our community. Through our partnership with the City of Wabash, the Wabash Redevelopment Commission, and Grow Wabash County, we've been acquiring houses on the East Market Street corridor, and I'm thrilled to say that as of late last month, those houses have started to be torn down as we clear the way for new housing starts in downtown Wabash. In addition, we have housing efforts underway with several other partners across the city at various sites, and the town of North Manchester is now selling homes and lots in the new Chester Heights subdivision. Regarding workforce development, in partnership with Heartland Career Center, Ivy Tech Wabash, and the Community Foundation of Wabash County, along with several local employers, we completed last year a 26-week industrial maintenance class, and we launched and graduated our first ever high school CDL class at Heartland Career Center. 7 graduating students that were guaranteed job opportunities right here in our community, graduating at 18 years old with a Class A CDL. We have grant funding in partnership with the Community Foundation to support additional adult workforce education classes. Welding, CNC machining, industrial maintenance, all were postponed due to COVID, but the money's in the bank and it's ready to roll once we're out of this and once we're able to do it. We've continued to partner with Heartland Career Center on a large federal grant to facilitate the expansion of Heartland Career Center to accommodate more adult training opportunities that we should find out anytime if we're successful. In our business development pillar, a large focus for our business development efforts this year shifted to business support because of COVID-19. We became the clearinghouse for COVID-19 news for our community businesses and worked together with many other organizations here in the room tonight to react and respond to concerns centered around the pandemic. Since March, Grow Wabash County has administered $450,000 in Okra business recovery grants, close to $100,000 in rapid response low-interest loans, and over $50,000 in additional grants from our Business in a Box grants to our partnership with Duke Energy and others. As new opportunities are suspected to arise, we'll continue to apply for and provide this assistance to the community until we get through this, and we will get through it. We made this switch because the community needed it. While bringing in new businesses gets us headlines, doing everything we can to help all of you when you need it most pays much bigger dividends. Our foreign investment efforts continue despite the pandemic. While our trips abroad were postponed for this year, prior to the closures, we traveled to meet with officials to support our efforts. And in September, we hosted, along with Wabash City Schools and the City of Wabash, the Consul General of Japan in Chicago, Mr. Okada, who presented a $30,000 check from the Japan Foundation to support a new Japanese language program at Wabash City Schools. This is even more important when you consider, yeah, that's worth a clap. There you go. This is even more important when you consider that the same foundation sponsored Mayor Long and I at this same time last year to visit Japan to meet with several companies, government officials to build upon those efforts. Later this year, Grow Wabash County will host the Northeast Indiana Japan Summit in partnership with the Northeast Indiana Regional Partnership. It will be a virtual event this year. These efforts to support opportunities for our Wabash County businesses to create strategic partnerships abroad and for potential new investment to flow into our community are an important part of our long-term economic development strategy. Traditional economic development projects, including expansions with local businesses and business attraction efforts, are still underway, and Grow Wabash County is spearheading the development along with the Wabash County Commissioners of the new ArcLight Business Park on the site of the old county farm at US 24 and State Road 13, for which we recently received the Duke Energy Site Readiness Certification. In an entrepreneurship, for the second year in a row, Wabash County placed 7 of the 10 regional State Innovate Within pitch competition finalists from Wabash County. So 7 of the 10 out of a 14-county region, 7 of the 10 teams came out of Wabash County for the second year in a row. That's something that every time I talk about that, I start to beam, right? It just makes me excited and proud of what we have managed to build with our school systems here just in the last few years. Even though COVID forced us to cancel our local Innovate Wabash County pitch competition, which occurs right here on this stage, we were able to pivot and take the funding that we would have put towards that program and shift it to our Business in a Box program, which allowed us to provide financial support to 19 local businesses and startups who used this funding to support numerous other local service providers. We required people who got those grants to spend the money here in Wabash County or in Northeast Indiana to support the other businesses during a time of need. Supporting everything from marketing to accounting to the manufacturing of local goods. Our Co-Starters program is going strong. Next month, we're launching our Co-Starters Generator program in conjunction with the business and entrepreneurship teachers in all the high schools across the county. We also shifted our traditional Co-Starters Core program this year to react to the challenges presented by COVID-19, and we provided scholarships for 4 local businesses to attend a virtual Co-Starters Rebuild course, where they're collaborating with similar businesses from across the country as they work to recover from the challenges that this year has presented. And finally, under our Investor Services pillar, we traditionally speak of events, but like many of your own organizations, we were forced to cancel or postpone several of them. This challenge, though, gave us new opportunities to provide value-added benefits to our investors. During the height of the pandemic, since we couldn't do them in person, we hosted free Zoom meetings with Senator Braun, Congresswoman Walorski, State Senator Andy Zay for all of our investors for an open forum to just talk to their elected officials, to get their feedback to say what's going on in our community, what are we doing with COVID. Despite some delays and changes to the end of our program, we ultimately graduated 24 students in the 2019-2020 Leadership Development class. Our third State of the Communities event in February brought over 200 people together to hear from each of our communities around Wabash County, and we formally announced the launch of our Imagine 185 countywide planning initiative. And our Salute to Ag event honored Flack Farms as our Farm Family of the Year for 2019. And as Patty mentioned earlier, we were thrilled to start the year off announcing the close of our Growth Starts initiative, our first ever capital campaign for Grow Wabash County. Many of you in this room committed or contributed to Grow Wabash County, raising $1 million in private revenue to support the big picture items we're spearheading to help improve our community. And for that, I say thank you. In closing, I say this every year at this event, but I never want to miss the opportunity to say that I'm proud to call Wabash County my home. I'm blessed to have a wonderful team, a visionary board, and a very supportive community. Grow Wabash County is firing on all cylinders, but we cannot be successful without all of your support and involvement. Again, Grow Wabash County is resilient. Wabash County is resilient. We define our success not by where we stand, but in what direction we're moving, and I'm thrilled with where we're headed. Thank you. I am also blessed to stay on the stage so you guys get a little bit more of me, so hold your applause. To award our Volunteer of the Year award. I'm honored to present our Volunteer of the Year award each year. It's maybe one of the greatest honors I have, that people will give of their time and their resources and their talents to support this organization and all of the things that we do. We rely on our volunteers for so many of our functions, from our programming to our leadership board of directors to committees, to pull off most of the events that we do. Our Volunteer of the Year this year is a friend who has shown themselves to be one of the most reliable individuals I've ever had the pleasure to work with. When I came to Wabash County, this individual was one of the first folks I met with. At a breakfast at the former Madres in North Manchester, our Volunteer of the Year and I sat down along with the late Chris Garber, and together they brought me up to speed on everything there was North Manchester while they laid out their vision for where they would like to see the community headed. Since that time, we've worked to bring that vision to reality, from acquiring land to start what would ultimately be the new Chester Heights subdivision, to attracting new businesses like Precision Medical Technologies, to fostering expansions of OG Intertech, Strauss Veal Feeds, and many others. Our Volunteer of the Year is one of those guys that we all know that we need in our lives. You know that when you call on them for advice, a favor, or just a chat, you know that they're going to answer the call each and every time. Our Volunteer of the Year is an educator, an administrator, a civil servant, and a leader. He has served in numerous capacities around the state and currently serves as a town councilman in the town of North Manchester and on the board of directors of the Community Foundation of Wabash County. He led our Leadership Development Wabash County program for the last several years, as well as our inaugural Next Gen High School Leadership program last year. In August, at our Leadership Development Wabash County graduation, we announced Grow Wabash County's first ever scholarship program for our leadership development that we named in honor of our Volunteer of the Year to recognize his efforts to transform our program into the great program that we have today. As a testament to his impact on folks, at the very end of that lunch before we walked out, an individual who's in the audience tonight and a former student of our Volunteer of the Year approached us after graduation with a check in hand to underwrite the first year of the scholarship. I'm proud to award our Volunteer of the Year this year to Mr. Jim Smith. Jim, please join us on stage to accept your award. I would now like to invite Patty Grant back to the stage.
Thank you, Keith. It's my pleasure to introduce the business of the year. Halderman Farm Management Services was founded in 1930 in Wabash, Indiana, by Howard H. and Marie Halderman. They started the business in their home, vowing to do for your farm what you would do if you had the time and experience. The business grew, as did the staff. From 2 people, 1 client, and a handful of farms to manage, the Halderman companies have steadily grown to manage 650 farms across 19 states and 2 countries, selling and acquiring over 150 properties and performing over 800 appraisals annually. It is now one of the largest family-owned professional farm management and real estate organizations in the United States. And that is the reason they say, if it has anything to do with the business of farming, Halderman can help. Howard Halderman is the 3rd-generation owner and leads the staff of 9 in the Wabash main office, 22 additional area representatives, and 10 real estate associates spread throughout Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. It is our pleasure to celebrate Halderman Real Estate and Farm Management as our 2020 Grow Wabash County Business of the Year. Please join me in applause and welcome President Howard Halderman.
Thank you. Thank you, Patty. Thank Grow Wabash County. On behalf of the Halderman companies and our family, I just want to thank you for this honor. We look at it being a blessing that we are part of Wabash County and a blessing that we are receiving this tonight. I think, Keith, you and I were together on March 11th out at the REMC building. Grow Wabash County that night was sponsoring the Farm Family of the Year event, and that might have been the last event here in the county where people got together until tonight. To any large degree, obviously, we've had sporting events with a large number of people as well. But that event in and of itself, 140 people in attendance, 240 tonight, just amazing, the kind of support that our companies and various organizations in Wabash County receive. Wabash is home. Wabash is our headquarters, and Wabash is a great community. In our business, I have the opportunity to travel across to Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, and Ohio on a fairly regular basis. I see a lot of county seats. I see a lot of small towns like Wabash. Almost none have what we have as a vibrant downtown, the cultural experiences and the opportunities that we offer. Almost no other community offers that as I drive around those 3 states. In addition, as you just heard Patty and Keith both articulate, our community comes together on initiatives, most initiatives. We come together whether it be growth opportunities, whether it be innovations, whether it be some way we can make life better here, we come together on those initiatives. And I think the Imagine 185 will be a great step, next step in that direction. As Patty said, 90 years ago, my grandfather started our businesses over on East Main Street here in Wabash. He was responding to a call from Peru Trust Bank. It's now part of the Flagstar system. They needed help, that's a key word, help, managing some farm properties in the midst of the Great Depression. This was 1930. 90 years later, our tagline remains the same: Halderman can help. Howard and Marie's vision was a service organization to help farmland owners take care of their farms, as Patty said, the way they would take care of it if they had the time and experience. That remains our vision 90 years later. But think about it. The year's 1930, it's the heart of the Great Depression. You have a stable job, because Howard had a stable job. He had a job offer on the table. Who starts a brand new business when the economy is collapsing? Maybe sounds a little bit like COVID-19 to some of you. Howard Halderman started a brand new business. He started our businesses. That is innovation. And annually, we recognize one of our staff members with the H.H. Halderman Innovative Effort Award for somebody who creates an innovative idea for our businesses. I would argue innovation is the hallmark of Wabash and the Wabash community. When you think about how we've remade our downtown, how we merged the chamber and economic development together, how we've created new cultural spaces, creating new housing options, we are innovative, and that's what makes Wabash a special place. Now, as Patty talked about, we offer some other services besides farm management. In the 1950s, we expanded into real estate sales, and then shortly thereafter, appraisal services developed. We adapted a lot of new techniques and technologies, but in the essence of our business has largely been the same for many decades. We've grown from starting in Wabash and Miami counties to where we're in 19 states from coast to coast today. And as she said, we're going to do 900 appraisals this year. We'll sell over $100 and some million worth of real estate. But the key lies here. Well, it lies with all of our people, many of which are from out of town with us tonight. But the key element is our service hub here in Wabash. There's 9 of us here. Now, we have one more guy up in North Manchester, but he's an area representative. So we have 10 in Wabash County, but 9 at our service hub out north of town. And the people are the backbone of our business. We don't make anything, but we provide tremendous service to the landowners that we work for. Our main office team is all here this evening, short one. They represent and work for all of our clients, but they more importantly work for all of our area representatives and real estate associates around the tri-state area. As Patty said, we have 13 real estate associates and 21 area representatives that are not based in Wabash County. In fact, I would say 95% of what we do is not based in Wabash County. One of the cool things about our staff that I tell most people when we're in the midst of a proposal is the average longevity of our staff is 20 years. When you hire a Halderman representative, they've been doing this for an average of 20 years of their career. In fact, last fall, we celebrated the retirement of one of our area representatives my grandfather hired. I never met my grandfather. He died 2 years before I was born. Yet Hugh Pence retired last fall after 61 years of continuous service for the Halderman companies. Now granted, the last few years he was just managing a couple of farms, but he was still doing it full-time on those properties. But when you think about our community here, it's the people who live here who make our service hub hum, and I could think of no better headquarter location than Wabash, Indiana. It's a blessing to be a third-generation owner of the Halderman companies. The legacy that my grandfather and my father left me and my brother is significant. And I would say much of the culture that you find in our companies started from them. Howard was president from 1930 to 1960. Robert was president from 1960 to the year 2000. For approximately 20 years, and I didn't take the time, Richard and Kelly, to figure out exactly how many, but both Richard and Kelly were involved, my brother and sister-in-law, were involved in our business and still contribute in some ways today. So you'd say the family legacy is pretty strong within the Halderman companies and the Halderman family, but it goes well beyond that. We have 6 father and son and father and daughter teams in our organization today. Basically where a son or a daughter has said, you know, I really like what dad has done in his career. I want to do the same thing. We have 1 husband and wife team that we now employ. So when we talk about Halderman being a family business, we truly mean it because it is all family to us. My final point is that we do invest in the communities in which we live and work. We think it's a cornerstone of our culture, giving back to those communities who give so much to us. We have staff members that have been involved heavily in service organizations, 4-H. They've served on municipal town boards, city boards, whatever those might be. They've coached various sports teams. They've worked on foundations, school boards. They've chaired chambers of commerce. They gave back to their communities because those communities give a lot to us. This year, to celebrate our 90th year, the company is matching up to $90, any $90 contribution they want to make to a local charity. We want it to be a local charity because we find that to be the most valuable. Volunteerism, I think my dad told me this at one point. Volunteerism is one of those things that make the United States unique. There's volunteerism that goes on in other parts of the world. But volunteerism here, and you think about businesses like Grow Wabash County, volunteers make it happen. And it's a significant percentage of our economy that is generated off those giving back to other people to make life better. And I think that works really well for Grow Wabash County. It works really well for Wabash County in general. So I'm going to turn it over to our video that we put together for this evening. You'll get to hear from a few more of our staff and a little more about what makes Halderman special. Enjoy.
Halderman Farm Management was founded in 1930. Our country was in a severe depression at that time, and a bank in Peru acquired some farms through foreclosure, and they had a problem figuring out what to do with them. My father had been a farmer in Wabash County, had been county agent in Wabash County, and knew the bank president, and the bank president called Howard and asked if he might be able to help them out. He said he would see what he could do, so he started managing a few farms for the bank in Peru, liked what he was doing, so he and my mother founded Halderman Farm Management Service at that time.
You'll note that in 1930, my grandfather was asked to solve a problem for Peru Trust.
They had farms that at that time they could not sell because there weren't any buyers, and they needed somebody to come in and take care of those assets for them in the interim. And so throughout our 90 years, we've been problem solvers. That's what we do, whether it's managing a farm, selling a farm, appraising a farm property. We are solving someone's need or problem and meeting their goals and objectives. This being our 90th year, Halderman started a program at the beginning of the year focused on giving back to the communities that we serve. Each of our representatives have offices in their homes, for the most part. Some have offices in local communities, but they are all very central to the territory they serve, and they're around communities where many of them grew up or have lived for many, many years. So our program this year, a way of giving back to those communities, is that Halderman will match $90 for 90 years, a match of whatever that area representative chooses to make a donation to. And it needs to be a local charity, somebody doing good work in their community that they like and have an affinity for. The reason we do that is our representatives live in those communities. They've raised their children in those communities, and in some cases, grandchildren. And so as a result, they want to see that community thrive and continue to grow and offer new opportunities to the citizens.
Today, our area managers, in fact, all of our staff, have an average longevity with our company of over 20 years. And most of our area managers have come with us right out of school and have stayed with us for their entire career, which is kind of unusual. And it says they liked what they were doing. They've done well. Our clients have enjoyed working with them, and that's all contributed to our 90 years of success.
One of the key elements to the Halderman companies is our culture, largely driven by our people. And as Dad just said, throughout the 90 years, our people they're the ones doing the service. They're the ones doing the work out in the field. They're working with the clients, meeting that client's goals and objectives. We allow them a tremendous amount of independence. We provide them tools and resources so that they can be efficient and they can do the things they need to do for the client in the right way. But they have a lot of that independence, and that has made working at Halderman attractive. It's also a family environment. We create a culture of family, and we prioritize family in most instances where, for example, if one of our area representatives wishes to attend a kids' baseball game at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, go and do it. We offer that kind of flexibility. And as Dad said, a lot of our representatives must enjoy working here because they've been here their entire career. But even more so than that, we have 8 father, son, or daughter, and now a husband and wife team that are all employees or have transitioned generationally to that next generation in a variety of locations around Indiana and other states. So that tells me that son or daughter saw what Dad was doing and really thought that's a career that I would enjoy as well, and that's a place I'd like to work. And so we've been really blessed with people that we've been able to help them grow. They've helped us grow, and it's been a great relationship both ways.
I'm a problem solver by nature. This job allows me to use that natural talent to solve problems and to serve people by helping them with all their farm-related needs. I grew up on a farm. I like farming. I still farm a little bit today. I own my own farm, own my own equipment. And it allows me to combine that passion with the passion for helping people, and it's just been a good ride.
The income potential is outstanding, and it's fed my family, paid for my house, putting my kids through college. The Haldermans have been very, very nice to work for and very, very good to me.
When I first started with Haldermans, it was like the fall of 2004. I was here about 2 weeks, and decided that this was it. I was going to be here until I retired. That was 15 years ago. I'm still here. I still enjoy coming to work, and I have discovered that my gift is helping people. And at Halderman's, I am able to do so. I take care of 24 guys that take care of those 630 farms in 19 states and 2 countries, and I love every minute of it.
The thing that I enjoy about leading the Halderman companies is the people. And they make the management of these companies extremely easy. Yes, there are challenges day to day. You have clients that sometimes present challenging situations, but throughout the history, whether it be change in regulation, change in the economy, a client who has a change in what they want to do, I think we've always looked at those as opportunities, not as problems. And so you adapt to that change, you make the change, and the beauty of it is we have people that have been doing that for 20 years on average, some of them for 40 years. And so it's really what excites me every day is working with our staff, whether it be here in the main office, the support staff that basically in many ways is the backbone of our company, or it's the area representatives and the real estate associates out in the field. They present a unique opportunity, a unique challenge, and every day they're going to bring some different idea, a different way of doing something, or a new service that we might provide. And that makes my days always different. And so when you think about a career choice, serving people, working with excellent staff, and every day is different, I don't know what more somebody could ask for than that kind of opportunity.
About every 10 years, almost on the decade, what we do and how we do it changes. We're still doing farm management, we're still doing farm real estate, sales and acquisitions, and appraisal and consulting. But the techniques, the type of problems, the type of opportunities, the challenges keep changing. And every 10 years, a little different. And makes it very interesting. It's been a very enjoyable occupation. And I've been tickled to death that my 2 sons have decided they wanted to come back in to the family business.
One of the most surprising things that I've seen over the 36 years that I've been here is that no matter how much technology changes, no matter how much the world changes, no matter how much farming changes, the people remain the same. This is still a relationship business. We're still here to help people with their farm problems, with their farm needs, whether it's management or sale or appraisal, and that business hasn't changed. We're still helping the same kind of people that we were 90 years ago.
I was merely a mouthpiece in that. I really want to thank Abby and others on our team that helped pull that video together. So, finally, I do want to thank Grow Wabash County one last time for this honor, and congratulations on just another successful year representing Wabash County in spite of so many challenges. So congratulations to Patty and to Keith, and I'll turn it back over to Parker.
Congratulations again. Who doesn't love the Haldermans? I have to say, there might have been an error in the video. I actually worked for the Haldermans too in high school. They survived the Great Depression. They survived COVID. You can't believe the amount of money I cost them in letterhead pulling real estate flyers out of the wrong tray on the copier. So it's a remarkable company. We have previously awarded 77 distinguished citizens, including 3 couples since 1946. A complete list is in your program. Would those who are present please stand? present the 2020 Grow Wabash County Distinguished Citizen, I'd like to invite the 2019 Distinguished Citizen, Bill Barrows, to the stage. More importantly, so that we can dethrone Bill. He's still distinguished, but we don't need to be reminded of it all the time. No more ring kissing for Bill. Fair?
One last time.
Fair, one last time. Not gonna do it. This is public. Bill.
All these papers are upside down. I got mine right, though. We're good, Katie. Again, I'd like to offer my congratulations to the Haldermans and Bob, Janet, Howard, Carrie, Richard, Kelly, and all the rest. You are truly worthy of the honor being bestowed on you this evening, and we're all very proud of you. Thanks to Grow Wabash County, Keith Gillenwater and his staff for having the good sense and, well, of course, the good taste to have the articulate and highly entertaining Parker Beecham as tonight's MC. Mayor Scott Long has respectfully referred to me with the initials DC for the past 364 days. Parker, as of tonight, we are now authorized to use the new moniker, #FDC, on Twitter and other social media, meaning former distinguished citizen. Thanks, Scott, for that inspiration wherever you are. I know you're here someplace. A year ago on this night, I professed that I really didn't know what to say when I reached the podium, and I'm sure that several of you thought, well, that's a switch, because normally he can't keep his mouth shut. Well, guess what? I've had a year to think about it, and I now know what I wish I would have thought of to say on that night. First of all, when I was invited to attend last year's banquet by YMCA CEO Dean Gogoleski, I agreed simply because I thought it would be an opportunity to spend some time with some of my peers from the Y and to be here to honor those who were going to be singled out for their service to our community. Upon further review, I remembered that on that night, the Major League Baseball playoffs had begun, and there was also a Thursday night football game for me to view. After all, my lovely bride Nancy was out of town at a quilt show in Indianapolis, or so I thought. So I thought I could slip out unnoticed. At some point, I could catch the back end of all of that from my easy chair. Little did I know, well, the rest you already know, which leads me to my joyful task this evening. By the way, right before I walked out here, I got a text from my little brother, and it said, he knows that I'm doing this evening, and it says, good luck, brevity is bliss. Right, that's happening. We all have people as we journey through our lives that mold us into the individuals that we have become. Several of those people have influenced me, and I would like to quickly mention a few of them that helped me along the way. People like my high school baseball coach here in Wabash, Chris Rude, who helped me develop a strong work ethic. Our athletic director and football coach at that time, Paul Gunderman, who inspired me to use my skills to help kids and ultimately continue to develop youth programs in our community. Former Mayor Bob Van Landingham, who mentored me as a young adult and taught me discipline, patience, and to understand that there are no roadblocks in life, just detours. I'll be forever in debt to them, as well as a couple of others who have won this prestigious award. One was a guy who blazed the trail and set the standard for the job that I now do at the Y, Don Baer, as well as someone that I have looked up to a good portion of my life, Michael Beecham. These are all people who have influenced me down through the years and have been instrumental as to who I am today. In fact, our distinguished citizen for this year also was a mentor to me as a teen and a young adult through example and actions. This is a person that led life the way we all profess that we should. From serving the community to helping people in need, our deserving recipient has been there for many of us over the years to lend a hand. This person has never met a stranger, and you'll know why in a minute. It doesn't matter where you may be or where you're from, this person finds common ground and befriends all. According to a relative, even when you're in the middle of nowhere, there are friends to seek out and talk to. Even in the wilderness, where there are millions of acres to explore, interacting with people is a must, even when people could easily get lost and perish, and in fact some have. Somebody needs to queue up there dueling banjos, because here it comes. Our hero likes the primitive nature of a particular area in Canada, canoeing for days without seeing anybody else, or maybe not. He just likes talking to people, even when portaging through rough territory with loaded pack and canoe in tow. But every once in a while, one may come across other campers headed to their private campsite that could be several lakes and portages away. At this point, you can count on a conversation with the other travelers at the expense of his canoeing partner, who may not be quite as talkative, to unload everything to be carried through the wilderness. Even when the canoe gets loose and starts across the lake by itself, leaving only the partner to swim out and get it while he makes friends. But ultimately making friends as well as truly focusing on getting the task done. It's been said that he doesn't really like surprises nor attention. Get ready, pal. You're about to get both, and you certainly deserve the recognition. This year's recipient of the Distinguished Citizen Award was born during World War II and has 3 siblings. Graduated from Wabash High School and married the girl of his dreams. They raised 3 children here in Wabash. He likes to play golf, especially on Father's Day, and if I'm not mistaken, played 9 holes this afternoon. He loves to celebrate 13 days of Christmas and is very interested in old cars. Our recipient retired from Deal Machines, has served on the Wabash City School Board as well as the Wabash Park Board, is the past state deputy of the Knights of Columbus, the Gibault Board of Directors, and in fact, started the Knights of Columbus Christmas Tree Hall. He is heavily involved to this day in the Special Olympics, the Access, Fish, and the Founders Day Committee. But other than family, his big passion is driving around town in his Roadster or his vintage red truck that is affectionately named Miss Cheryl. That name was emblazoned on his high school senior cords as well as the truck. That was also the name of his lovely wife, who unfortunately is no longer with us, but I'm sure is watching over all of this as it unfolds this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's Distinguished Citizen, Wayne and Dolores' baby boy, Doug Adams. Thank you.
Hey, you might want to take this. Thank you. Well, once again, I'm like you. This year, right now, can say I don't know what to say. I appreciate it very much. I guess the cool thing about my life is the family, my wife Cheryl, and spending my life in Wabash with a bunch of volunteer people. I've done some volunteer work, but there are some fantastic people out there that spend an amazing amount of time for a little bit of income or whatever, serving us every day. I guess I'm kind of out of words. I appreciate it very much. It's a great life. It's a great family. Once again, thank you, and you did get me. Thank you.
I want to frame those. Congratulations, Doug. Just a reminder, those gold stars, those gold star winners, your table deal is on the table if you forgot it. Please feel free to go get that. Again, Katie needs one, so if there was an extra, I didn't win. We'd ask all the award winners this evening and the presenters to stay for pictures if we could. They'll be on the stage. We'll let this group have a moment and then clear out. But finally, we'd like to thank you all again for making tonight very special for a lot of people. And thanks for all the volunteers and, again, your financial support of the organization, Grow Wabash County, Honeywell staff, media, etc. The annual meeting at this point is closed, and you're welcome to responsibly move your way on home. So thank you very much.